Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and I have someone I wanted to show you guys because she's finally home and she's been home for the past 2 weeks. Here she is, it's Penelope, and she's wearing her cute little puppy collar that I showed you guys in the puppy haul, getting her used to wearing a collar, though technically she has been wearing one for quite some time. At the breeder's house, she was dark purple girl, but I just want to make sure that she continues to be desensitized to wearing that type of material on her neck, and just continuing that so when she gets older it won't be a shock. But she's been doing pretty good with it, and I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on what life has been like, because she has been in our household for the past 2 weeks. And don't mind me veering off, I'm just making sure. Penelope! Come here. Gotcha. I've just been making sure that she doesn't get into any trouble. And as you guys can see, she has an amazing recall because she's such a good girl, and she has been an amazing girl. But I do have like some realistic things I want to share in this update with you guys, because I know when it comes to puppies, people only see cute and fun, and reality, raising puppies, it's hard. And she's only been here for 2 weeks, and we've had some challenges that we have to overcome. And she's growly because it's actually time for her nap, so she's not going to be throughout this whole video. I just wanted to show you guys her and give a quick update to how she's doing. And I'm probably going to go ahead and put her up for her nap real quick, and then let's get right to it. Oh, see, this is signs that she's sleepy. All right, let me go put her down for her nap. All right, I went ahead and put Penelope up for her nap. And if you guys hear animal sounds in the background, I am currently playing Animal Farm sounds, and I play lots of different sounds for my dogs, so when they're eating, sleeping, playing, so they can be desensitized to these things, especially when they're puppies. So that way, if they ever encountered farm animals, or they hear a car, or when it starts raining and thundering, they've heard those sounds before, so they're not as startled, or maybe they just don't care because they're so used to it. So if you guys hear that, that is what that is in the background. So just a quick little disclaimer. So getting into the update, as I've already stated earlier, Penelope has been with us for the past 2 weeks, and we picked her up when she was 9 weeks old, and as of yesterday, she is now officially 11 weeks. And yesterday she had her first vet visit, and everything is all good. She's perfectly healthy, and the vet complimented on how well she looked, and I was all like, thank you. So I was very proud in that moment, and I had let her breeder know, because me and the breeder have a really good professional relationship. She's really passionate about her dog. She wanted to know, is she good? Is she cleared on all the things? Because usually when you pick a puppy up from their breeder, it's best to take them to the vet at least a couple of days or a week or so after you bring them home. And we were still within that time frame that was recommended for us to take her to the vet for her checkup, and we took her yesterday, and everything cleared out okay. I updated the breeder, and she was very grateful for that update, and she's been doing great. Even though she's been doing great, I'm not gonna lie, there were some challenges, and still are. Like, for example, picking her up was a little difficult in the beginning because of the strange weather that we had early, like to mid-January, with all the snow. Like, it snowed here where I lived, then the ice and snow melted, and I made sure to keep the breeder updated with the weather. But then there were weather threats of like winter storms around the routes we would have to take to travel to get the puppy, and even where the breeder lived. So we couldn't rearrange the dates because of certain situations the breeder had, and Penelope would have been the last puppy in her litter, and she didn't want her to be alone. And I don't want to put my breeder's business out there, but let's just say we just couldn't reschedule a pickup date, and I completely understood, and she told me her reasons as to why, and it was valid. So we had to race to go get her, 13-hour drive, 13-hour back, and we were exhausted when we all came back home, but we did it, and safely, and we didn't get stuck in any bad weather, because you want to take bad weather, especially snowstorms, seriously, or any bad weather. But you hear stories about people getting stuck and freezing, and you know, we really wanted to make sure we beat that bad weather, and we wanted to make sure everything was smooth as sailing and safe as possible. But we made it. She's here, but just getting her was a challenge, but we managed to overcome it. And I would say for Penelope, she has been really good with a lot of things. Like, she and Argos have been getting along great. I've been introducing them slow. They sniff each other through their little playpens. One will be out while the other will be in their playpen, and they'll just observe and sniff each other. And I would give both of them food at the same time. I'll record that and maybe put it on YouTube Shorts and as well as their TikTok to show how I've been doing that. I've been doing tons of research before I got her on how to properly introduce dogs. And that whole, oh look, here's your new brother, here's your new sister, that doesn't work with a lot of dogs. And Argos would not appreciate if I just took this random strange puppy and just went, oh look, it's your sister. So I've been taking introductions very, very, very slowly with them, and it's been going great. There's been no tensions, but the biggest challenge we've been having has been potty training. I will admit, even though this isn't my first rodeo raising a puppy, she has been my most difficult puppy to potty train. And like last night, she had an accident in her crate, and I felt bad because I thought, you know, she was whining because she wanted to see me, because she's been sleeping throughout the night and hasn't needed to go potty in the middle of the night anymore, especially with the schedule that I have for her. And she laid back down. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe she just needs to see me. Maybe she just, you know, wanted to get out and play, but then realized, okay, we're not playing. And then she whined again. I was like, okay, maybe she has to go potty. But by the time, you know, I went to reach her, and by the way, she's not far away. I'm literally in the same room as she is. Both of my dogs sleep in my room in their crates. So when I went to go get her, she had already peed, and I felt so bad. And I will admit, I make mistakes. Even though this isn't my first time with a puppy, I made mistakes. I should have just went ahead and take her to the bathroom, but I didn't. And what threw me off was that she woke up in the middle of the night, and she didn't do that anymore. We cut off food and water at 6. That's usually the last time she eats or drinks anything, and she pooped and peed right before it was time for bed. And I played with her I was somewhere between like 10:30 to 11 o'clock, so she was tired. And this schedule has prevented her needing to wake up in the middle of the night to go potty. So everyone, including, you know, me, since she's my puppy, is getting enough sleep and not always, you know, waking up in the middle of the night, because, you know, that can really mess you up. And that's usually like what throws people off when they get puppies. It's that lack of sleep. It's that interruption to their sleep pattern. So making sure your puppy is, you know, good in terms of the bathroom is important, especially once you get a schedule in. That's why people say, hey, don't give them food and water at a certain time to decrease the chances of them waking you up. And that has been working until last night. And I should have just went ahead and took her, even though she laid down and she had an accident. So potty training has been hard, and some days been good, and some days she just goes ahead in her crate. Even though I take her outside or to the puppy playpen, she's one of those puppies who like get easily distracted, or for some reason you take them to where they go potty, they don't go. And I try to do that method where some people would say, hey, put them in their crate for a few seconds to maybe a minute and try again, because instinctually puppies don't want to go where they sleep. Dogs do not want to go potty where they sleep. Not Penelope. I can't leave her in there for too long. So what I do is I sit there and I'll watch her body language. And if she's still pacing, which she didn't do last night, she just laid back down and stopped crying. But if she's still pacing and whining, even though I'm encouraging her to relax, I'm like, she has to go potty still. And I cannot leave the room or else she'll go. And I have to catch her right there and then to take her outside or to the puppy playpen where her puppy pad is, and then she'll go. So that's just how it's been working. And puppy, like, you know, potty training her has just been a little difficult, and I want to admit that. I want to show the realities of what it's like having a puppy. And, you know, they wake you up in the middle of the night, they may or may not go, or you'll take them and they'll go in the crate. It is just, you know, a slippery slope in the beginning until you figure things out. But I just want to say to anyone out there, it is okay. It's okay to make mistakes. You're human, and your puppy is not trying to torment you. They're just babies. They're also learning. And I always tell her, even though I'm frustrated, I still love her, and she gives me kisses, and she's just the sweetest puppy, and she loves everybody. She loves Argos, even though he like is looking at her like, who are you? He interacts with other dogs like how cats interact with dogs. it's weird, but she loves him too, and she's just been amazing with everything so far. But potty training has been our biggest issue, and I hope that we continue to improve rather than continue to see mistakes. And if I have to switch things up with the plan, I will. So I'll keep you guys updated on that and see if I had to change routine, change schedule, maybe stop giving her water and food earlier. So instead of 6, maybe I do it at 5. But I don't like having a puppy go too long without at least water, because I don't want her to be dehydrated. So I don't know. But yeah, she's super sweet. Other than that, everything has been smooth sailing, knock on something, but everything has been smooth sailing with her, and she is handling her crate, minus when she uses the bathroom in it, very well. She cries a little bit and then she goes straight to sleep. And I hope we continue seeing this process with her crate, also being by herself. I do not want her to get separation anxiety. We want to prevent that as soon as possible. So I let her have moments in her crate after knowing she's been to the bathroom and doesn't need to go anymore. And I also use her ring cam to check on her to make sure she's still asleep or if she's showing signs that she may have to pee. I put her in there and she'll cry a little bit and she'll go straight to sleep, and I'll have some type of ambience or sound effect in the background to desensitize her to, because like I said, I play these things when they're sleeping, eating, playing, and I'll play night sounds, I'll play city sounds, I'll play nature sounds, farm sounds, just anything, and it's working. So crate training is going well. Potty training is what we're struggling with, but I feel like a lot of people do. It's either one or the other, unless you're one of those lucky people who have those unicorn puppies who for some reason are just angels. I'm jealous, but it's okay if you're going through those rocky starts, and that is what we're having. It's just a little rocky start. Now, as for other types of training, we haven't made a lot of progress with things like lure training or basic obedience because her lure is not that great. So I've been working on it with her and I'm seeing small bits of improvement. And if you guys don't know what lure training is, it's basically that you take a treat and you kind of like use it as a guide to do things. So when you get them to sit, you might bring it up to their face and it guides them to sit down, or you guide it to the floor and they'll follow it to lay down. But her lure is not that great, so we're having to work our way through it slowly so she understands, oh, I'm supposed to follow the treat and where it's going. That's how I usually teach my dogs how to sit and lay down. And she's mastered sit. I haven't added a sit command to it, but luring her to a sit, she's done a good job, and she's also has amazing food manners. I made it to where she automatically sits without me asking, instead of jumping up at me for food. And I love that about her. I think she mimicked Argo sitting before he ate, and she just automatically sits. She doesn't jump, she doesn't yell, she just sits, and I love that so much about her. So sitting is going to be the easiest command for her to learn, but laying down and guiding her to spin or do a certain trick, I feel like we're going to have some difficulties with that, but over time I do believe she will improve. We do start puppy classes soon, so if there's any difficulties, I could ask the trainer we're working with for some advice on if a puppy is not that good with luring, because I'm not a professional. I've trained all my dogs myself using the advice from professionals, but I am not a professional. I'm just going to put that out there right now. So if you ever need help, please reach out to a professional. I'd rather you do it now than struggle when your dog is an adult. Now, not saying adult dogs can't learn, but it is easier when they're puppies if there's a behavior or certain issue that you're dealing with when they're young. So just putting that out there. So with that being said, lure training and basic obedience still needs a lot of work, but that's actually not my main focus while she's this young. My main focus is socialization and desensitization. So I had to be careful. That was a bit of a tongue twister, but at this age, while she's under the age of 16 to 17 weeks old, this is important. This is the most crucial part when it comes to owning a puppy. This is that window where they're very impressionable. This is where they're confident, they're curious, they want to learn things rather than always cower away. Now, I'm not saying they don't get scared, but they're more prone to really taking things in as positive or negative. So when it comes to meeting other dogs, other puppies, when it comes to meeting children or seeing new people that look like, you know, people they've never been raised around. So let's say you're a short person and that was a weird way I said it, I'm sorry. So let's say if you were a short person, there we go, and you know, you introduce your puppy to a tall person, that's probably like, wow, that person's really tall. Or if you're a tall person and they meet like a short person, or let's say a child, that's a huge difference. These impressions are very important, and this is what's going to make them a well-rounded dog when they're older. And I've done tons of research on the socialization period of dogs, and I'm more focused on that than sit down, lay down, roll over. You know, you can teach an adult dog to sit and lay down, roll over, but with puppies, that period, that window, you only get it once. So that is what I'm really putting my energy into. And until she gets her last round of shots, she's still very vulnerable to diseases like parvo and Dempster, and I do not want her to get those things. I want to keep her safe. So what I'm gonna do is use my sling that I used to use for Argos when I carried him everywhere when he was little, or his Wild One carrier. And if I feel like she doesn't like being in a bag or a sling, I'll order a stroller to see if she prefers that. And if she just prefers me carrying her everywhere, then I'll just do that instead. I'll keep you guys updated on which method worked for us, but I know it varies from puppy to puppy and dog to dog, because I know people still use slings and strollers and bags for their adult dogs even. So I'll update you guys and see how that goes. But yeah, I have to be very careful so she doesn't get sick and she can't touch the ground. I rather be safe than sorry than take that risk. I cannot afford that risk. I would be crushed if I lost her to parvo like that, because I've heard so many horror stories. I just would be so crushed if that happened. But I still want her to be a confident dog who has seen as much as she can during this crucial period. And it's, like I said, it's very important. So it's like a balance that I have to figure out, is her safety, but also taking advantage of this crucial period that is going to end pretty quickly. Like I said, we've had her for 2 weeks and time just flew on by. So I really want to make sure that we continue socializing her, showing her the world the best we can, taking her out, but still being safe. And other than that, that's all I really have for you guys in terms of this update. So, you know, her lure training and her obedience training still needs a lot of work. Crate training is going good, but potty training it needs a lot of work. And she's doing amazing with Argos, like I said earlier. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick update and show you guys her and just give a quick glimpse as to what I've been doing with her. And I also plan on showing her progress with agility classes, puppy classes, and all of that stuff in the future. But other than that, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I hope you guys love Penelope as much as I do. Her breeder has been so amazing and so supportive throughout this whole progress, and I love her so much. I highly recommend, if you're getting a puppy from a breeder, is have a breeder who's going to be your support for the rest of the dog's life. Our breeder always said that I could contact her at any time if I need anything, and that really gives a lot of peace of mind. And she's really been giving me a lot of advice on how to work with Penelope whenever something comes up, like her potty training, her crate training, because, you know, she raised the puppies, so I know that she knows what works for her dogs. Even though I've raised dogs before, I still wanted to work on her with whatever the breeder had done with her before and what she recommends when it comes to her dogs. So she's just been amazing. But other than that, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. I'll update you guys again on Penelope in another video, and I hope you have an amazing time. Bye.